It's different than reading a book on Earth. You go to the Hall of Akashic Records, where we would look up our records and we could see the lives we've had together. I was astounded when I saw how many there were. It is literally in the hundreds. Hi, Twin Souls. I'm here with another channeling from Ron, my husband from the other side of the veil. He is my twin soul. And this channeling, it tells of his progression on the other side and how he's coming along over there. And these channelings will hopefully let you know how connected you are to your loved ones, and especially to your twin soul. I am Janet K. Darling, co-author of The Timeless Love of Twin Souls along with Philip George. And this channeling is brought through Mary Pompeo, Be the Force, Find the Light. And I will start in with the channelings. As before, I keep telling who's talking, Mary, Ron, or me. And it starts out, even before Mary got started, Ron come right through. Tell her how much I love her and how much I am with her when she is thinking of these times. Mary says, he says it's touching for him, reviewing his life. When he first went over there, nothing was as pleasurable as what your feelings were and how you met, and going over the history. I wish you could see him. I wish you could see him. And I said, why can't I? Why can't I? And she says, I'm sure that will come. I often find with my clients, when someone they really love, they try too hard. Some night when you are relaxed, almost ready to sleep, you will see him walk in the bedroom, and that will be an amazing thing. Mary says he's standing so tall and erect, and he looks so young. He's so vital, always smiling. And he was always smiling, even when he was ill, with that pleasant manner about him, and very much a gentleman. Mary says, he loves you, hon. And I said, I love him too, Mary. I looked at my schedule this morning to see who I had. When I saw it was you, I thought, oh, this will be nice because I feel the love from you to him and the love from him to you going through my heart. It's a very pleasant experience. It's both ways. He said he knew right from the start you were the one from him. And then Ron comes through, and this part just touches my heart so much. The title of the book came to me while walking through the woods. I really love the sensation of being able to walk. I can walk a lot every day, and I love to walk in different parts of nature. I can think in my mind I would love to walk on the beach, and suddenly I am there. One particular day, I was walking by the mountains and saw beautiful sunlight coming through the trees. The trees on the path I was walking on made an umbrella over my head, and there was sunlight all around. It looked heavenly, don't mind the pun. How could it look any other way? I went around the bend, and there was a beautiful waterfall coming down the mountainside. I stood there looking at it for a while, thinking how beautiful it was and how water continues to flow. It flows down streams into rivers, which fills the oceans and then gets evaporated by the sun in the clouds and rains down to earth again. It's like a constant cycle. I thought of the two of us being together many times, studying them, but I am putting off looking at too many of our lives because I want to wait till you are by my side and we can explore them together. It's different than reading a book on Earth. You go to the Hall of Akashic Records, where we would look up our records and we could see the lives we've had together. I was astounded when I saw how many there were. It is literally in the hundreds. You take a crystal which holds all the information and you lay that crystal on another crystal. It's the picture of your life. It projects like a holograph up in the air. It's like you're watching a movie. Sometimes we look a little different than we do now, but the eyes were always the same. And you had the same smile in every lifetime that I have seen you in so far. You were always little, and I was always much taller than you. We always loved each other at first sight. When I was looking at the waterfall, I was thinking how water is like one cycle. There's no beginning or ending. I felt the same way about our love. There was really no beginning of it because we came from the same egg, so to speak. So there will be no ending of it. We will keep loving each other for eternity. No matter what names we are called in many different lives, it doesn't matter. The energy is all the same, and the way we got along was always the same. You tolerated all of my shortcomings. I always felt I was a better man after I met you. And I said, it seems like in this lifetime, I always tried to prove myself to him. He is so intelligent and he expected perfection. It made me grow getting better jobs, always trying to please him. He was like a mentor or teacher to me. Before I met him, I always said, oh, that's good enough. And then Mary said, he felt like you made him a better person. And he said, you were my heart. And then I said, I still have the heart-shaped stone he found for me on the beach in Florida. Mary says, oh, how romantic. And Ron says, our spiritual love is closer than independent couples. It comes right from the crown chakra. I know you miss me, and I wish at those times when you are missing me that you could feel when I put my hand on your back trying to console you. I am looking forward to the time when you can actually feel that. I feel tingling in my legs and feet sometimes, my hands, and I'm sure it's him, unless my blood is boiling. And Mary said, are you sad? He thinks you have some sad moments. And I said, I just can't help it. I miss him. It's so hard to be tough. And Ron says, your beautiful heart is needed where you are right now. It's important for you to write our story. I can't write it anymore, not being on the earth plane. You're the one that experienced it along with me every step of the way. You will be able to tell the world what went on. And here it is, it finally happened, the timeless love of twin souls. We tried everything up short of jumping off the Empire State Building for his healing. He even ate raw pork meat. And Mary says, oh my God, how did he do that? And I said, when we were in Mexico, a doctor told him to do that. And I thought, how crazy, he could have got trichinosis or whatever you call it. And Ron says, I know now that I was never meant to get well. I was meant to go through what I did because the suffering and the courage I went through, along with prayers, somehow helped the world. I wasn't aware of it at the time, but the energy went out. I have met many people who have passed over and who have come to me and said, oh, you're Ron Darling. I felt your grace. It got me through a very dark night. I was thinking of killing myself, and your grace made me hold on. This happens all the time. I sit at night with men, young and old, watching fireflies while having these conversations. They keep coming to me asking if I am Ron Darling, and I will say, yes, I was in my last lifetime. They will say, I was suffering with cancer before I passed over, and I was in terrible pain. I felt like it would be better off for my family if I was dead. My grace, when offering up a prayer, went up to them, touching them. It made them feel it was better to stay than to do something foolish like taking their life or just giving up. The courage that they got from the grace generated offering my suffering up allowed them to die in dignity. It's very moving. That really blows my mind that our energy of our prayers goes where it's needed. The energy of that is never wasted. And I said, we are all connected, aren't we? Mary says, we are. And Ron said, I didn't do it for praise. I just wanted something good to come out of it. And that's the way it was. And Mary says, he's an amazing soul, Jana. I'm sure you know that. I know I'm not telling you anything that you weren't aware of. He's beginning to see how much value his journey was to a lot of people. And Ron says, now the book is going to do the same thing. You have no idea how 1 or 2 sentences or a paragraph in a book can help you get through something. And Mary said, I think we are all connected, and the moment that you're ready, I think you're going to find that you are connected and visited by many people. And I said, my prayer was always for Ron to get better. I may have not been able to have done what I did for another man. I might have not been able to have done all I did if it hadn't been him, because I loved him so deeply. And Mary says, the world thinks love is like Cinderella dancing at the ball. That's only part of it. True love is love that gets you through the hard times. That's what you two had, unconditional love. Too many people think, what can this love do for me, rather than how can I be helpful to this person I love? And I said, well, I begin to remember my trips around over there. And he said, the time will come when you will remember. Right now you still have a lot of grief in your energy. That's understandable. I am not critical about that. I understand completely, and I miss you too. People think that once you in what most people think of as heaven, you don't have any feelings or longings. I don't hurt the way you hurt, because I know without a doubt that we will be together. I also know I can go to you and comfort you whenever I desire. I feel a little frustrated that you can't feel me. I think part of that is my fault. My energy may not yet penetrate the veil enough for you to feel it. It is coming. I am getting better. And I said, I do feel him. I do. And Ron says, I'm not going to rest until you can see me, and we can sit on the couch with my arm around you discussing things, or just comment on the day. That's my goal. You do come out of your body and are with me. We travel sort of like Superman and Lois Lane flying. We visit our children and grandchildren. We bless them knowing the grace is going to work on their inner level. It helps them through difficult times. And there's a lot of them. There's 12 grandchildren and their significant others, and my 14th great-grandchildren's on the way. We had 6 kids together, three between us, 3 and 3, so there's a lot of kids here to go visit. And he says, after 2012, we're going to find great changes in the concept of time. And because time doesn't separate us anymore, our being together will be easier. And 2012, we may not be able to tell, but it brought in more energy than we are aware of. And it's kept on rolling after 2012, and that's why we're in such incredible times right now. And Mary says, I feel like my heart is going to explode from the way he adores you. And I said, he couldn't have had a better name than Darling. He's always been a darling. And he says, you are my darling. And I look forward to 2012 when we can be a lot closer. And that was in 2010. And here it is, the year 2019. And I finally did see him. He did walk through the bedroom one night. I saw him. And it was so fantastic to me to finally see him. And it took this accelerated time for him to be able to come into my vision. And I hope you open up your hearts and go inward to be able to bring the love you want to you, and to recognize love. Even the love you're with now may be your twin soul, and you're not even able to realize it until after you go in and say, oh my God, I've been with my twin soul all this time. Or maybe you're seeking your twin soul. Be open and be ready for it, because they're probably looking for you too. Be grateful for these times we're in. I guess that's all I have to say now, except just be so grateful for these times. Please comment and subscribe and like. Love and light from me to you. Thank you.